Take 3. Hello, my name is Natalia Simanovskaya and I'm a language instructor at Moscow Lomonosov University and I'm greatly proud of it. I work with history students and it means that our main task is to read and speak about history. Unfortunately, our curriculum is still mainly based on the grammar translation approach. And at the end of the course, our students are assessed by their ability to read, translate, retell the text, and to render an article on social or political topic. Therefore, when we concentrate on those tasks, they become bored. That leads to truancy and that leads to their loss of interest and loss of love to English. That is the most horrible thing that can happen to a student. But on the other hand, if I concentrate on speaking tasks, on communicative tasks, they can fail their exam at the end of the course. That is not desirable at all. Therefore, I try to find some space to introduce interesting things into our traditional study. First, when we speak about articles, I try to choose the most interesting thing for every person in the group. But to retell the same article one by one, 10 times, it's so dull. That's why I usually cut 10 to 12 articles and I take out a passage or a sentence of each article and hand out the papers with those sentences coming from articles. So while one person is retelling an article, other people are trying to find which sentence was cut out of his article. Then when they say which sentence, I usually ask why do you think so? They have to explain, not to make it only a guesswork. That makes the process much more vivid. Also, they are historians, and one of the main problems for them is pronouncing proper names. They are written and pronounced differently in English and in Russian. When they come across those names in the text, they perfectly recognize them, but they still tend to pronounce them in the Russian way. Therefore, I use a game picked up from maybe primary teaching experience called I Hear, I Say. I make a table for 3 people and I divide people to groups of 3. Papers have 2 columns, I hear and I say, words start and finish. The person who says the word start reads the name opposite the word start, he's Darius. The other people have to look for the word Darius in I hear column, it's here, and pronounce the name that is opposite. Here it is Herodotus. When they look for Herodotus, they say the word Athenian, then it comes Athenian, Persian, etc. up to the word finish here. The same procedure is good for dates pronunciation. They're historians, they have to pronounce a lot of dates, and again they tend to make mistakes in it. Again, the dates are written in numbers and they have to pronounce them in the correct way, like the 7th of July, the 11th of November, etc. This can be applied not only to dates and names, it can be applied to every science when you have to drill the terms, maybe chemistry or mathematics, anything. Then the greatest part is texts. Text rendering, text translation. When we come across text, usually they have some questions, comprehension questions at the end of each text, but reading a question and looking for answer is extremely boring. Therefore, I usually divide them into 2 teams, and the task is to make 10 or 5, up to the size of the text, tricky questions to catch their opponents, that makes them read for details, that makes them look up new and unfamiliar words again and again, and also that's a good drill for question making. Another drill for question making is one of their favorite game, Guess the Hero. It's based on the game depicted in Inglourious Basterds. And it's very popular among students in their free time, but I usually get one person to get a hero not with a sticker on the forehead and circle. I write a name on the board and show it behind the back, like this. The person has to ask questions about his hero or celebrity. Like, is it a person from medieval history? Is it a person from contemporary history? Is it a Russian person? Is it a military commander? Or else, the name should be the last attempt. Yeah? When they know it's an emperor, he comes from Russia, it's the 19th century, they can't start guessing, they should ask, was he killed? If the answer is yes, then the next question is, did he carry out great reforms in every sphere of governing? Then the answer is Alexander II. They are free to guess that. Then, as for retelling and translating, I like the game of conference interpreter. One person is a foreign researcher and he makes a speech on this or that event. That's really retelling. Another person, smiling politely next to him, is an interpreter. His task is to translate his sentences one by one. That's a task of translation. Also, a kind of game is possible after reading a big text. I'm very fond, and the students are very fond of Jeopardy game after the text. For example, recently we have finished a text on the Fourth Crusade, so they have agreed, like in a game, yeah, full grid with points and topics. They have to provide some pronunciation abilities, like this one. First, they argued it can't be 1,000, and then both teams failed. Or they have to provide two sentences showing that they can connect with the help of difficult conjunctions like furthermore, nevertheless, and yet they failed. And some details, of course, for the text, like they named 3 deadly scenes or told me about the fate of Andronicus I Comnenus. It was discussed, you should look on it. Then, as for vocabularies, I usually give them freedom to compile a vocabulary list, but I direct the process. When one person comes to the board, all the group says the words that he has to write. For example, he writes the word night, or serve, or landlord. Yeah? And when all the board is filled with the words, I usually direct them not to use synonyms in one word list, not to use paronyms, because that makes a lot of difficulties. Another person goes to the board, takes the typing device, and the students pronounce, I usually say, should say the words in Russian, and the person at the board has to wipe them off. They say "Pripasnoy" and we wipe off the word "serve" until the whole board is white again. When it is over, we proceed to paper games. I usually cut all that vocabulary list into small papers, distribute them among the group. Their task is to look at their papers and ask if they do not remember any of these words. They comrades explain or translate, but I don't like it. I prefer explaining their words to them. Then they swap papers. Papers go from one student to another. When the circle is full, we go on. I redistribute the papers being mixed, and then it depends on the nature of the group. Sometimes they can just say the word in Russian, other people translate, or they provide the context with math word, or they provide a dictionary explanation we have to guess. They provide sentence, replacing the word like we're bound to the soil, yeah, and they all cry out, serfs, serfs were bound to the soil. Or if the group is weak but very creative, they can mime it or draw it. So here are some of the techniques that I hope can help you in your further work. Thank you for your attention and good luck in your teaching. See you. Bye.